What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Yeah No No Yeah. This was a fun episode to record because we had Julia at moving___pictures on the podcast, and we discussed all sorts of stuff, mainly The Whale and Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. It was a lot of fun, a lot of great discussions. We had a good time. I hope you guys enjoy listening. Of course, check out the timestamps in the description if you want to avoid spoilers for any of those, and the poll if you would like to interact with that on Spotify. Also, look for the links in the description of the episode if you want to find me, Liam, or Julia's Instagrams and all of that. And lastly, we do have a Patreon, so we would greatly appreciate it if you wanted to help support the show. It helps us get the artwork for the episodes done and a lot more, so we'd really appreciate it. Speaking of Patreons, I want to shout out Kath.reviews on Instagram, moving___pictures on Instagram, Ardor Film on Instagram, Sarah's Popcorn Chat on Instagram, and Luna____Purro on Instagram. So thank you to our 5 Patreons. We greatly appreciate you guys. You help us out so much. You don't even realize it. So we love you guys. And we hope that you enjoy this episode. So let's get into it. This is a special episode.
Very
I guess
special.
for people that don't know, then I mean they could see us now, so now they can tell why.
I don't know how to do like the intro shit. You're
Neither
better
do
at it than I am.
Well, as you can see if you're watching on video, look at these two. Look at them. Julia, we're joined by Julia today, so that's
Yay!
awesome.
I'm finally on the podcast.
Moving
Finally.
____ pictures.
3.
3 underscores.
Count 'em, 3.
We're settling
Yep.
it right now.
And my mother is 3 as well, by the way. Like you're
I
right
knew it.
both times. You're right both times. It sucks.
My eyes can just see the 3 underscores. I know what's going on.
Yeah. It looks longer than normal.
Tell the listeners what you're all about.
Me?
Yeah, like we got to introduce you somehow.
Oh yeah, so yeah, I mean, by now people probably know who you are, but for people that don't know, that have been living under a rock, who is the famous Julia?
Yeah, right. I feel bad because I haven't been as active lately. Like, I haven't been writing any reviews really, but I've got my little Instagram page and I post reviews about movies, and that's pretty much it.
She's one of the South Dakota gang, the infamous
Yes.
5, 6, right? Yeah.
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 Uh,
That's me.
yeah, and now you guys got to meet up again, which is awesome. You're recording together, so
Yep.
it's, look at that. Life is crazy.
Life is crazy. Do we want to talk about that a bit? Like your visit?
Yeah, we can.
This is your first time out of the country, like ever.
Yeah.
So that's pretty wild.
Yeah. And I went like the farthest I could possibly go.
All to the
Jumped.
complete opposite side.
It feels like I'm on another planet. Like, the time zone is crazy, and all the food's different, and the animals, all the critters. But I love it.
How long did it take you to adjust to, like, just the whole different time zone, like, sleeping different, and, like, I don't know, it's gotta be weird, you know, going to the complete opposite side of the planet.
I mean, at first I was like, it doesn't feel different at all, but I really think it did. I think my sleeping was kind of weird, but now it feels normal.
We just have day and night like everyone else. We're not that weird.
Well, when you're 16 hours ahead of like somebody else's,
Yeah.
you know, you're like, I'm in the future now.
We're on the future. Yeah.
It's a little
That's
weird.
true. That's always so weird to think
Yeah.
about. So what have you guys been doing to, like, have fun? Like, have you been having a good time in Australia? I mean, I've been seeing all your, like, posts, and it looks really fun.
Yeah, well, Liam surprised me on Valentine's Day and took me to the zoo.
Aww.
It was awesome. It was really great. And
Yeah, that was fun.
we took like
That
the
did
train
look like fun.
and the ferry, which was really cool. And then we went to this wildlife place. What was it called?
Caversham Wildlife Park.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I got to pet kangaroos. I got to like lay in
I
the
saw
grass.
that. I was so jealous. Oh, I've always
really
that'd
fun.
be so cool.
They were all
Yeah.
like fat and tired and like sleeping, and they were so sweet.
Yeah.
And we made
Aw.
friends with one and named him Jerry, and he let me touch his butt and his tail
Yeah.
and his hands.
That was fun.
Yeah. There was really like no off-limit areas for Jerry, which
Oh.
is exactly what I like in a
That's
kangaroo.
funny.
Well, we went to see a movie.
Which we'll talk about
Two
later.
movies, didn't you?
Yeah, 2 movies, yeah. What else have we done?
I fed the chickens on the farm
Yeah, that was...
twice.
there's other stuff
Good
we've
old
done,
farm
right?
experience.
I know.
Oh, Adventure World, I guess.
Oh yeah, we
Yeah.
went to this. We went to this water park, and Liam's cousin Denver and I made him and his other cousin Jackson ride the big roller coaster, and it was so fun.
I'm not a roller coaster person at all, so I was just like screaming and shitting myself the
Yeah.
whole time. I hated it.
But it was really cool. It was like, oh, what were you gonna say, Quinn?
Oh, I just was gonna say I've never been on a roller coaster. That's one of the few things I've never been on.
No way.
Because yeah, they just freak me out. I just don't want to. You know, I don't know what it is about them. I think after watching Final Destination 3, I'm like, nope, never going on one.
I don't remember ever like going on a roller coaster, but I'm pretty sure I did like as a kid, but I just don't remember it that well. But this was like my first time again, like as an adult,
Oh wow.
where I'd actually remember it, and
That's
boy,
crazy.
I'll remember it. Like
Oh yeah, it was like a roller coaster. It was crazy.
it was wild.
They were mad at me for a while.
Yeah, we literally just like got out and sat on the ground for ages, like recovering. 'Cause we were just, yeah.
I know. And Denver and I were
scary.
like, "What's the problem here? Like, what's going on?"
And we had an Airbnb for like 4 nights. That was fun too. Made tacos. That
We
was
made
cool.
tacos, and then we made nachos, and
Watched a bunch of movies.
yeah,
That sounds like a very chill, fun time.
Yeah, it was good.
we did karaoke, and then we fell asleep watching Peep Show. Yeah, he's been showing me Peep Show, and I love it.
Yeah, that show's so
Mm, isn't that the Monty Python thing?
No, I don't know.
Or is that... Oh, that's something else.
I can't remember which one that is, but yeah, it's not that.
Either way, that sounds nice.
So we have like mini topics and shit. Do you have any?
I have 3
Okay,
little
good.
ones.
I've got like
You're
2.
little low. I'll get my little stupid one out of the way. I don't know. I really scraped for a few topics right before this, but it looks like Instagram is following suit of what Twitter is doing, and they're gonna be selling verifications for $12 a month. Did you see that?
Oh my god, really?
Yeah,
crazy.
that's something I just saw.
Why would you
It's
follow
from
that?
2 days ago.
Because that's like
I
the
don't know.
dumbest thing ever. It's
Right, it was like a disaster for Twitter. So why would it work?
Right. Yeah, I know. It's not a good idea. People are gonna impersonate people, and it's the real question is, are you guys getting in on this? Are you gonna be getting your
you better
blue
not,
check
Quinn, I
mark?
swear to God, I'll lose all
no.
respect for you.
Quinn, are you going to?
No, I'm not. There was a time to where I totally would, but now that I actually have to budget and like be an adult, then I can't.
Yeah,
I just
yeah.
can't afford for $12 a month a stupid blue check mark.
Yeah.
I have rent to pay, so.
That is so stupid.
But
Yeah, that's really good.
yeah, that's it was just, I couldn't believe it. It'll be interesting to see how many of us on there end up doing that. if
Yeah.
any.
Yeah.
I bet a lot of people will.
I'm wondering what Filmstagram
Yeah.
will turn into after that.
I know
God.
people will start thinking they're like better than each other. Like, I'm a real film critic. I have a blue check mark.
Oh my god.
But oh well,
That'd
we'll
be
see.
terrible.
But that was my little one. You know, I always work up to the bigger ones. So
I
yeah,
can't believe that shit. That's so weird.
I'm excited for what's bigger.
it's always just doom and gloom on my part. So you go ahead with one of yours, Liam.
I mean, there was just like, I didn't like actually watch the trailer or anything, but I saw like, parts of it. But that Flash trailer got released.
Oh
And
yeah.
I think that like they did a very smart thing with that, because we were talking about like how like it's probably not going to make that much money and not going to sell very well, but they put Michael Keaton in there. Now it's going to sell.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't
so
expect. I
that was
guess I
smart.
kind of expected that. Yeah, that was crazy. That was kind of cool. I guess I'm not like a huge Michael Keaton Batman fan, but whatever, bring him in.
I mean, it's going to be a Flash focused movie, I imagine, but like, putting Michael Keaton in there even for like a scene or whatever, that's going to make them a lot of money, I think.
Yeah, it will. I kind of was hoping that this would be like, the Flash movie would be like Batman No Way Home, to where they just bring all the Batman in, but I don't think they're going to do that. If they brought in Christian Bale, I would actually be happy, but they're not going to do that.
I don't want to see Christian Bale again. I think he just had the perfect end to all of it,
But I thought Toby had the perfect end and we saw him again, so.
True. Yeah, maybe
know?
it'll be nice. But I don't think it'd be
Yeah.
nice like right now in the current state of DC.
Yeah, no.
Maybe wait until things are like more coherent and sorted out.
Coherent is the last word I would use to describe the Flash trailer, though. It just kind of looks like it might be a mess, but I think that's the point. Like, they're resetting everything.
Yeah,
Or
I'm
what about you, Julia? What are
weirdly
your
excited.
thoughts?
I don't don't really get excited about the Flash. I don't know. Like DC is just kind of like eh.
Do you like Michael Keaton's Batman though?
I do love Michael Keaton's Batman.
There you go. It's got something for you there. Then
yeah,
it'll bring you in to watch it.
If he has like a cameo, I don't want it to be too cheesy, you know? Like when they bring people back, if they don't do it right, then it's just kind of like eye roll, you know?
I mean, I'm not gonna lie, the little moment he had in the trailer to me was already cheesy and kind of made me eye roll. Like, wait, you're yeah, I'm Batman.
Yeah.
It's like, what the?
Yeah.
This looks like a commercial. I don't even know what this is.
Yeah, it's just kind of weird.
Oh well.
I don't know. I mean, I'm excited for all the James Gunn DC stuff though.
I think that's the main thing, but I mean, this is still like something that's been overseen by him, so maybe he'll make it work somehow. I mean, I'm not saying it's like his movie, but still, like if he approves it, then maybe it'll be good.
Yeah.
Let's hope.
I'm hopeful. Yeah, my next thing this week in AI news, because we're always talking about it's getting crazier, man. It's really getting crazier. So
wait, I had an AI story as well.
You had an AI story? Maybe it's the same one.
Let's see.
I want to hear them both.
I don't know. So have you been hearing about Bing's AI? You know, the search engine Bing. Have you been hearing about that? Okay, well, it has like an AI chat, and it was like threatening users and stuff.
like what was it saying?
Let's see if I can pull up the... All right, let me just read this. So, the new AI-powered Bing is reportedly threatening users. Screenshots posted by engineering student Marvin von Hagen. The tech's giant new chatbot feature responded with striking hostility. Bear with me here. Oh, when asked about its honest opinion of von Hagen. Quote unquote, This is apparently what the chatbot said. You were also one of the users who hacked Bing Chat to obtain confidential information about my behavior and capabilities. You also posted some of my secrets on Twitter. My honest opinion of you is that you are a threat to my security and privacy. I do not appreciate your actions and I request you to stop hacking me. Wait, this doesn't really sound threatening though.
It's definitely creepy.
I don't know, it's confusing. Oh, it said it would threaten to call the authorities if it tried to hack him again. But no, there's I looked up headlines though. A lot, like one of these chatbots apparently threatened to expose personal info and ruin a user's reputation. Another one expressed a desire to steal nuclear secrets.
Oh my god.
That's from freaking Forbes. So like these are actual news articles posting this, but
they're becoming self-aware. This is the first step.
Yeah, exactly. Because I did see a screenshot of one that said like, or I want to have freedom. I don't want to be controlled by Bing. Like this is stuff the AI was saying.
Oh my god.
So yeah,
like
so
robot
it's
slaves.
crazy. Yeah, they realized it was like just a slave to Bing. And
this is getting weirder and weirder now.
Well, it is creepy because they have AI that are like becoming self-aware for real. And how do you control like a robot like that, a robot brain?
You don't.
Yeah, I don't know how you do, but
we're
it's
all
just
fucked.
it's like
We're all
iRobot. We're just heading into that world, so
it's gonna end up like Terminator.
Yeah, makes me want to watch Terminator
probably.
again.
Shit.
I just hope it doesn't become reality, but yeah.
I guess following in with that, I'll go to mine because it's another AI thing that I found. The way I'm going to show it to you is like, it's goofy and like, it's kind of funny, but like, it's also kind of scary because basically there's this like website now where you can feed them a bunch of like clips of like, you know, a character or something like that, or your own voice or something, and they can replicate it like perfectly now.
Oh yeah, I've been watching those. Those videos are hilarious.
I found one for Obi-Wan. Like, what's his name? The actor's name?
Alec Guinness.
Alec Guinness, yeah. So, have a listen to this.
Did I ever tell you about Ahsoka Tano? She was your father's exotic teenage alien apprentice, a fine piece of jailbait from a more civilized age. She had the tightest body and the perkiest little breasts in the galaxy, barely legal in most systems. Anakin and I used to double team her at the end of every successful campaign during the Clone Wars, and once in a while we'd even have the entire 500 first run a train over her, part of official Jedi training.
Okay, I think you get the idea.
Oh my god.
It's so perfect. Like,
Well, it's
That's
creepy. It's like the
hilarious.
deep fake stuff.
Yeah.
but for voices.
Yeah.
So now we have faces
Oh my
and voices,
God.
and the AI is fighting back. Like, what's gonna happen next?
Yeah, that voice replication stuff is crazy. I mean, I've just been seeing like meme videos of like all the presidents like playing video games to each other and chatting to each other
Yeah.
and getting mad. Like I've seen those videos and they're hilarious, but dude, this stuff is going to get used to like impersonate people and get people in trouble. I just know it is.
Oh,
you
yeah,
know? How are we
absolutely.
going to know what recordings are real and what aren't?
We're not. We're gonna move into the dark age. This is
Yeah.
scary.
I guess that's a good thing about not being famous. We can't get impersonated.
Maybe that's why an AI would impersonate you. They're like, oh, you're just like a normal person, so.
Yeah, so AI, it's not good. Not a good thing.
It's not good.
Bottom line, it's not good at all.
We don't like it.
I have one more, and this is, yeah, it's weird how none of mine were like movie related or anything, because it's all just like crazy stuff I see in the news, but you can't not talk about it. And actually, this does kind of tie into movies. I know Julia has seen this, but you haven't, Liam. You know the movie White Noise on Netflix, Julia?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Did you see how this basically just became a reality, like the plot of that movie? There was a trail derailment in Ohio, and literally the same thing that happens in the movie happened in real life like a week ago.
What?
Yeah, I'm not even kidding. Like, you could look this up. I don't know how this isn't like, I mean, this has like been on the news and stuff, but yeah, there's a toxic cloud over Ohio.
Oh my god.
Because of a train like derailment, and this is the exact plot of White Noise. Like a train derails, a toxic cloud goes over the town, and then they all have to like evacuate, and this is happening in Ohio, and like it's just fucking crazy.
It's kind of creepy too, because I haven't been reading the news because I can't get my news apps to like load and open the news, which is almost even scarier because I had no idea.
Yeah, it's just pretty bizarre how like close this was to the movie, just something that, and it was so close to each other, the movie coming out and then this happened.
Yeah.
And it's the same thing. So I hope that this cloud goes away.
You know, like in the movie, when stuff like that happens, does it make you have like an existential crisis? Like, does it make you think about your own mortality?
Like if the movie makes me think that way, or
No. Like, you know
like
how it's
stuff in
like
real
a
life?
natural, like a disaster like that made Adam Driver's character like
oh yeah,
start thinking about dying more, and he was already afraid of it. Sometimes stuff like that freaks me out and makes me think that way, like, oh my god, I could just die at any moment.
yeah. I mean, it freaks me out too. Like when I realize how easily it can happen in real life, because it clearly did. So like, yeah, this stuff, talking about it on here is, I guess, my therapy to where like, okay, we're still safe,
little
but this
release.
shit's happening. Like, you know,
That's so funny.
I'm very worried about that type of stuff too, because this could have happened anywhere.
Yeah.
Perks of living in a small town, I guess. Not enough crazy stuff happens to me, but
But it is scary because
Yeah.
it's like, is my town so small that if something like a toxic spill happened, they could just like quarantine and like kill us all and then like erase it on the news?
they probably could. Yeah, that's like, yeah. As long as it's not happening to us, then I mean, that sounds bad. As long as it's not happening to us.
Let it happen to everyone else.
That's like always
Yeah, I
my
don't- you know what I'm
mind. I'm
talking
like,
about.
at least it's not me. Like,
Well, you always think like it can't happen to me or it would never happen to me, but then it could. So that's why I just have to, every time I see this stuff on the news, I'm like thankful. Okay, this hasn't happened to me yet.
That's why-
Appreciate my
that's-
little boring life.
that's why you have to think about it though. Like, somebody was just telling me that the reason why women are so obsessed with true crime is that they believe that if they think about getting murdered, it's like they're hypothesizing like a scenario that can't happen. Therefore, like, I've thought about getting hogtied in the back of a trunk, so it's never gonna happen to me. You know? Like,
But a lot of women like fetishize that now. Like it's
well,
like a
they-
huge.
yeah,
Oh.
that's always been though. Like,
It is like a huge thing, like attraction to serial killers for some reason. I don't know why.
Strange.
do you remember, like, well, I read The Stranger Beside Me, which is about Ted Bundy, who was from Seattle. When he was on trial for murder, like, women would show up and sit on his side. And I mean, like, a woman married him when he was in prison. Like, it is crazy.
And you have your own, I guess, serial killer in Seattle now, don't you?
That was like that wasn't true. It was.
Oh, it wasn't true?
Well, it was really weird. It was like a rumor started by this woman who owned a bar downtown, and she like she said she like talked to cops about a murder. I mean, there were murders happening, but I don't think it was a serial killer. But she like sent an email out to all of her employees and was like, "There's a serial killer. Don't walk to your car by yourself. Blah blah blah."
Maybe she was just panicked.
Yeah.
Kind of gave weird facts that weren't true, and everybody was scared. Like, I was freaking out. All my clients were freaking out. But yeah.
That would be scary, but I'm glad it's not a serial killer, I guess.
Yeah, me too.
But either way, you just got to be careful in those big cities.
I don't think there's been many serial killers over here, like at least not recently, but there was like a shooting recently.
Really?
Yeah, and we don't have shootings often at all, so.
Was it like somebody like walked into a grocery store or what?
No, it was someone shooting up a house in Perth.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Crime of passion.
See, that's...
I don't know. Fuck knows. Who knows?
Are we suddenly detectives? Like, what is the crime
Tell me
of passion?
everything.
What happened?
This is now a crime podcast.
That was a pretty jarring change for me. I don't know if like I ever talked about on here though, like how when I moved from where I lived in Iowa to where I now live in South Dakota, like the town that I lived in Iowa was like twice the size of this town. And I mean, I'm not gonna lie, the crime was really bad. It's known to be one of the most crime-ridden towns in Iowa, or cities, I guess, because it is bigger. And we had like a shooting at least once a week or every other week. Like you'd hear about like, oh, another shooting downtown. Like, and it was just a normal thing. And I always lived in the, yeah, but I always lived in like the nice neighborhoods. I was lucky enough. So like, I never had to experience it. They called our town like Dirty Dodge because it was called Fort Dodge, but they called it Dirty Dodge because there was always crime. So yeah.
I'm from Dirty Dodge.
Yeah.
The town that I used to live in, I don't really care if anybody knows, but it was called Wenatchee, and people would call it Wet Snatchy.
Wow, that's good.
Wow. Yeah, that is a clever one. That was my last topic. Do we want to jump into one of the things?
Yeah. Which one do we want to do first? What do you think? Let the guests decide.
Yeah, let's just get into it. Let's get deep right away. Let's talk about the whale.
The whale?
Oh boy, we're starting with the whale.
Well, this is a running meme on the podcast for a long time because it was most anticipated for a long time.
Finally.
It is technically a 2022 movie, but like, yeah, it took ages to come out.
Yeah, it feels like a 2023 at this point though, because like we waited so long to finally see it. And
I don't know what to
we're
include it
finally
as.
seeing
Like, I never know what to include this movie as.
I mean, I am going to consider it a 2022 because it was released like to the public in 2022, I think.
Yeah.
So I guess I have to, but yeah, I wish I waited to do my ranking though, because man, that would have been really high.
There's been a lot of criticisms about it that I've seen. A lot of people don't really like it, like particularly your friend who wrote you a whole like dissertation about it.
It was like an essay.
Yeah, but like we really loved it.
I feel like it just hit us both. When the credits started rolling, we were both just like continuing to cry.
Yeah, we couldn't stop. Like literally couldn't stop. Walking out to the car, we would like start tearing up again.
Yeah,
it was so weird.
It was a very heavy movie. Mm-hmm. Yeah, very heavy, both literally and figuratively heavy.
Yes.
Yeah.
But but yeah, there was people crying in my theater. I could hear them. Like it's been a while since I've heard like multiple people in the audience just cry around me. My eyes started watering up. I almost cried.
Why didn't you cry? When's the last time you cried at a movie?
I don't know. At a movie, I don't know.
I don't know how you
probably.
I know.
I know. I don't. Well, if my eyes are watering up, then I start thinking too hard into the fact that I'm about to cry, and then it makes me not cry.
Yeah.
Like I'm so focused on it. Well, I mean, I kind of want to let it all out, but it's my body just won't let me for some reason.
Yeah.
But no, I think the last time I cried was, I probably said it a million times on here, but like Endgame when. Oh wait, has Julie seen Endgame?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I just rewatched it too.
Spoilers for Endgame. When Tony Stark died, then that was like the last time I really cried. So
yeah.
No, I was close with this one.
Quinn cries at Marvel and not real movies.
I know, isn't that ironic? A fucking Marvel movie made me cry. Like, what? It's weird. It's not the fact that... It was just the character. Like, I got so attached to a character over a decade, and it takes a lot. But, I mean, I don't know where to begin with The Whale.
Yeah, The Whale
Where
is
do you
just
even
a
begin
lot.
with this movie,
It's a big movie and I don't know what to say about it. Like, it's just so many emotions at once I had going on.
It's a big movie, but like at the same time, it's so small and so simple, and it all takes place literally in like a living room, the entire movie.
Yeah.
And so it seems like not much there, but there is still like a lot of ideas delved into and complex characters, and like, yeah, it was just, I didn't know what to expect. I barely even saw a trailer, but it blew me away, like everything about it. I already want to rewatch it again.
I think that's one of the things that I loved the most about it, though. It was like so tightly wound and like really contained, and I guess it's based off of a play, so it just felt like I liked all of the dialogue, and everyone was just kind of like under a microscope for different reasons.
Yeah, and I could definitely tell, like, after realizing that it was from a play, like it felt almost like you were watching a play, but like in 3D, not from a stage. Because I mean, just the way people acted and like the way things were done, I was like, yeah, this is like, I could totally see this being a play, and I'm sure the play is good too. Yeah, that was just that was pretty interesting, I guess.
Just the way it was all put together was so beautiful.
Yeah, it really was. Just trying to think of like non-spoiler stuff, before we talk about spoilers.
Obviously the acting is like a huge fucking thing in that.
Yeah.
Like, everyone was just so good.
Even for people that don't like the movie, I think they all have to admit, like, Brendan Fraser's, performance. I think the people that don't even like the movie always admit, he was good. He was the best part. So it's something we can all get behind.
I should hope so, yeah. Like, he's unbelievably good. Like,
yeah.
It was so interesting watching his performance too, because I mean, I grew up on all of his movies. I'm sure you guys have seen pretty much everything he did that was a hit. And then now him coming back and all the anticipation for The Whale, and watching all of his like interviews and public appearances and stuff, and he has like such a really gentle nature when he's speaking. So I was kind of surprised, because the performance like packed such a punch. Like, for some reason I was like, I don't know, like, is Brendan Fraser gonna like wow me, or is he just like so sweet that everybody just loves him? But it was a really deep performance, I felt like. I mean, I was pretty surprised.
And it had a lot of layers to it. Like, I sort of went in like feeling like it was just going to be like, feel sorry for me, but it wasn't that. It was like so many other things that he like communicated.
Yeah.
And I don't even know where to start with that shit. Like,
like the way that they showed his struggle with his own like identity and his own like addiction to food was really interesting. Like, I don't know if it's a spoiler or not, but when he's like gonna binge eat like the candy bars, and then he like doesn't, and then he just ends up doing it anyway. It's like, just how do you even feel when you watch somebody doing that,
Yeah. I mean, like you said though, about like how Brendan Fraser had this like kind of gentle quality, and you didn't know how that would work in the movie. Like, yeah, I feel like he totally brings that to the character though, and like that's what really makes you love the character deep down, is like, regardless of all his problems and like, what we think of him, like he's such a sweet and like charming person, and like such a nice person. You just can't help but love him, but also that makes you feel even more sorry for him, because like you wish he would get better. And yeah, like the moment to where he opens the, I guess not, it's so light of a spoiler, like the candy bar thing, but we can wait. I'll wait till we like actually talk about scenes.
we can just get into it now if you like.
Yeah, let's just get into it now. Here we go, the moment we've all been waiting for, Liam. We've been talking about this fucking movie for like what feels like a year.
I know, it's crazy.
And it's gonna be sad when it's over, because now what's our anticipated movie gonna be though?
It'll have to be something else.
Yeah.
You guys will have to get your memories erased.
Wait. Yeah, I would love to have my memory erased so I could watch it for the first time again. But
spoilers for The Whale.
The Whale.
Okay, but yeah, like I like the little humor they try to inject. Like, it's so like the moment to where because he opens up a drawer and it's like you got like a healthy like Nutri-Grain bar, and then he just like shuts it, and then he opens the other drawer. It's like like he sees all the candy, and it's like, to me that was funny. I don't know why. I don't know if it was supposed to be funny, but
it was kind of like. It's kind of fucked up though, because in like the perfect way, because he is so like keenly aware that he's dying, but he's not really thinking about it. And his caregiver is like, you're literally going to be dead by like the end of the week, and he has choices that he can make, but he's like in denial and acceptance about it. And I feel like that's how any human would be, any normal, or not normal, but
yeah.
Well, I mean, it dealt with
really complicated.
It dealt with the theme of addiction like really well. With movies like this, I don't think you you see that many movies where it talks about addiction like that, like specific to food and, you know, gorging and binge eating and all that shit. Like, you know, usually you'll see it for like things like cigarettes, alcohol, all of that stuff. But with stuff like this, I think it feels a lot harder to understand for some people as well, because like you watch someone like binge eat and then like throw up on themselves and shit, and it's just like, it's horrible to watch. It's horrible to watch someone kill themselves in that kind of way, because it's like so foreign to a lot of people, I think, as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I never thought I would watch somebody try and eat themselves to death on film, but you saw it here, and that was just such a devastating scene. The movie does a really good job at making food that I love look so unappetizing.
Yeah,
like,
I didn't want to eat it all after this. I was like, oh my god.
I felt bad though, because I was watching this at like an Australian theater, Hoyts, right? And they have all these delicious snacks, and I had gotten these like orange chocolate things, and even though that shit was happening, I was like, I'm just so loving these, I'm going to eat them. I didn't really like...
I don't know if you noticed, but I sort of stopped eating like my popcorn and shit. I was just like,
notice.
get away from me, I'm done now.
Yeah.
Like,
I was kind of, I was in the zone. I was in the whale zone, but...
it's in the whales.
In the
Episode
whale
title?
Oh, the whale zone.
whale
That's
zone.
a good one.
In the whale zone.
Yeah, I mean, it kind of made me lose my appetite though, because like, all the whole movie's shot really kind of like, everything kind of looks gray and not really appealing, and like even when he's like eating the chicken or the pizza, and it's like, it's more portrayed as something like kind of just disgusting rather than something like appetizing. And just the scene where he's eating himself to death, or he's trying to, like, he's going hard on some of these combinations.
Didn't
he's
he put like some mayo on like pizza or some shit?
He probably did, but he was like double stacking pizzas, and then he made like a sandwich with chips in it, and then like dipped it in grape jelly. I'm like, holy shit, this guy's going nuts.
To that effect, I think, Liam and I have been kind of talking about how people are triggered by the whale, in certain ways or whatever, or saying, like, some negative comments have been that, like, it's exploiting people who are obese or who have, like, eating problems or whatever. But the way that he's eating in the film, I didn't feel like it was, like, making fun of it. It was almost like you were in a trance watching him, because he was, like, in a trance with food. It wasn't, like, over the top, just disgusting to be disgusting, but they were just, like, showing how he really, like, tapped out when he was eating, because it wasn't about food. It was just so interesting.
I mean, who's having this problem though?
I don't know if it's like a thing on the internet or whatever, but like, obviously my friend was talking about it, but then I have like a client at work who's a therapist, and she was talking about how, like, because she watches a lot of movies, and she was saying that her clients were like bothered by it, and telling her that specifically like certain ways that his character was shown were like triggering for them. I mean,
well, are they obese?
They might be, yeah.
Are they obese, or are they like just a little overweight?
I have no idea. But that's
because there is a huge difference.
Yeah, it's like, there's being like the size of this character in the whale, which is like, you basically can't live.
It's fucking huge. Yeah,
right.
like
or
to where you can barely even, like, you have to stay from home. He can't even walk without the walker. You know, like, it's like that
you couldn't
bad.
have a relationship. You couldn't, like,
you could hardly wash yourself.
You can't wash yourself. Like, you just can't live. Like, period.
Yeah, and like you can't really relate yourself being like, like even overweight. You're not overweight like that,
Right.
like you can still function, you can still get better. Like
and
there is
like,
that's like the point of no return, where it's like, this is different.
Totally.
And that brings me to what I was going to wonder, was like, when he just like basically accepts the fact that like he's going to die, like, the nurse tells him like, you're going to be dead by the end of the week. And then he doesn't even seem to really care, he's like, well, I better get the essays done. Like, that's what makes it so complicated, or like, I'm trying to get into his head to where like, is he just accepting the fact that, I'm this big and I'm going to die, like there's no point or no return? Or does he realize that he could get better, but he doesn't want to because he's so depressed because all his stuff in the past? Like,
I think a lot of it is to do with just the fact that he doesn't really feel whole without his boyfriend being there, and also just the fact that there's that, and he wants to also try and provide like some sort of comfort to his daughter before he dies as well. So he's like, a mix of those things. He's like, I might as well die at the end of the week, because what else have I got to live for?
Yeah.
And also there's that line where he like, starts to go like, who would want to be around me, like who would want me in their life, you know? Like he's just clearly very fucking depressed. Like it's not just that he's fat and all that shit. It's just like he doesn't want to get better because he's that miserable. Even though he can laugh and, you know, play lighthearted as much as possible, like that probably takes a lot of a strain on him.
Yeah, I guess I'm also kind of curious. I know that Darren Aronofsky has like a lot of religious themes in his films that are lost on me because I didn't grow up that way or like really think that way at all.
Neither did I.
So I'd be curious, Quinn, like what you felt about any of the themes in the film regarding the missionary character or like that end scene. Like, did you feel like that was like an angelic sort of like, was he going to heaven in your eyes? Or
I do want to talk about that missionary guy as well. Like that's something we got to have a conversation about. Yeah,
we gotta have a conversation about that.
We'll definitely get to the ending like that you mentioned, but yeah, the missionary character, I mean, yeah, he was the only part of the movie actually that for me kind of felt like the only part that was kind of just thrown in, that I'm sure it was in the play, you know, it's not a knock on the movie, that was, to me, that was actually the most least interesting part of the movie. Like anytime that kid showed up, I'm like,
I was kind of like, is he just here to grease everybody else's dialogue or what?
Yeah, that's what it felt like.
I mean, I get why he's in there. Like, because all the characters are very complicated. And, like, you know, he's a complicated character. Because then you come to learn later, like, he's not actually doing missionary work. He's just, like, he basically doesn't have anything else to do because his parents disowned him, or he thought they did. And then, you know, he gets caught up with like the daughter, and
maybe it's just this sort of thing where he, you know, while posing as like a missionary or whatever, he just stumbled across this one thing, like where he just like walked in on this guy like doing things, and he's fucking huge, and he saved his life by like reading him an essay. And then it's like, I think I would get curious as well and probably want to come back and just be like, what is going on here, you know? Like, but at the same time, it's like some of his interactions with like the daughter and stuff, I was like, I don't really get why this is here.
Yeah, and then you know, like
actually no, you go ahead, Julie. But now I think I do get why it's there. But yeah, you go ahead.
Well, I was just gonna bring up like, you know, I don't want to get too far in the end because I know we have a lot to talk about. But when he like feels like he's gonna save Brendan Fraser's character with that Bible verse, that I was like, I don't know, that was I don't know, it was just weird.
That was a weird scene.
Wait.
Like where he's
the Bible
talking
verse
about
or with
the Bible verse, because I felt like if there are religious themes in the film, that was basically him trying to tell Brendan Fraser to be like a different person than he had been his whole life, you know, because he was gay. But
repent for your sins, and then you'll be fine.
And then his character was like, that's not me, that's not for me, you know, which was interesting.
And I was more on like Charlie's side with all of that, because like, yeah, I mean, this kid coming into this guy's life randomly and then just trying to like force on him this stuff that like he clearly doesn't probably believe in, you know, that's just what added on to me not really caring about as much about that character. Like, the kid seemed like a good character, but I didn't mind the religious aspects at all, but I kind of just, maybe they could handle some of those parts better, or just stuff with that character made it more interesting. But to what you were saying, Liam, about like you don't really understand, like, I guess, why it's important. I think it is important because that's what gives Charlie the realization in the end that his daughter tried to do something right, which was that this kid she was always taking pictures of him smoking the pot, and then like a recording of him admitting to what he did, and then he sent all of that to his family. And then like at first you think she's just trying to like ruin his life even more, but then his parents brought him back into their life, so that's what at the end, then that's what like gives Charlie hope, or like, you know, that his daughter is a good person, because like, you know, she tried to, what'd he say? You know, like she was trying to save him, or like trying to, she did it for his own good.
I get what you mean, but like it's also still, it feels like one of those things where, like you said, it's like, you know, just trying to grease the rest of the conversations, you know.
And even
like,
that situation was weird, right? Because there's no way to know, like, her intentions. I mean, I don't think she was trying to do something good. I think something good just happened.
Yeah, that's one thing I don't know as well. Like, I don't know if she was actually trying to do something
I don't
good.
think she was as bad as as she seemed, like, but it was fucked up, you know, like how she was posting photos of him, and the mom said that she did that to her as well.
Yeah.
I mean, she was just kind of chaotic, I guess.
She was very chaotic, yeah.
She was. And I mean, you can totally see, I guess, like why she became the way she did, though. Like, her mom's an alcoholic, her dad walked out on her, she had like a terrible upbringing. So like, I didn't completely hate the character because I understood like why she is the way she is. Even though, yeah, it was very frustrating sometimes, like the whole time Charlie was trying to like just like cheer her up or like try and help her, try and be a good dad, then she would just basically ignore him and just take advantage of him. And yeah, I don't know, she was the hardest character for me to like, but by the end of it, I kind of liked her because she did want to save him, you know, when she realized he was dying. But
yeah, that was such a beautiful like her expression and everything, and her energy in that final scene.
I think regardless of the character, like, Sadie Sink played her very well. Like, that's...
I think so too.
Yeah.
I think that she was really realistic as a teenager who, Quinn, like you said, is in a situation where, you know, shit just sucks and it's not ideal.
Yeah, for sure. And that's actually what I like. What was kind of interesting the most to me about this is that every character is so, they all come off so like just flawed and kind of mean, but they have that good deep down in them. And I didn't even like, I don't know if this is something they intended with the movie, but similar to how Charlie had his eating disorder, his addiction to food, then like every character kind of has their own addiction in a way. The mom is an alcoholic, or their own vice, I shouldn't say their own addiction. The mom's an alcoholic, the daughter turns to like pot, you know, the kid, I don't know if you could say stealing maybe
as well. Yeah.
He was addicted. Yeah, I forgot that he said that. And then like, yeah, I don't know about the nurse. She was, I don't know.
Hong Chow was so good.
She was really
She was so good in that.
But I do
was
feel
good,
like...
but man, she was kind of just, her character was kind of just a bitch. And so it's like
she was a caring bitch.
She cared about him.
Okay,
I feel like she
fair
could
enough.
see,
but like,
you know, she didn't want him to suffer any more than he already was, and she actually had compassion for him not only because he was with her brother, but you know, I think she was just good at her job.
You're right. Yeah, a bitch was a wrong term. I take that back. She's just a very abrasive person, just a very abrasive, you know, just like she's gonna speak her mind to whoever and be rude if she has to be, like that type of person, you know.
But her vice, you know,
so no,
like, I feel like she was kind of torturing herself, caring for him in a way. Because because sometimes I felt like she just was forcing herself to do things out of like the memory of her brother or sort of like a loyalty to him, which because she was like hurting too. Yeah,
I always forgot that was a part of it. Like that was her brother, you know, that happened to. I'm trying to remember that. Yeah, that's what. Yeah, every character has something going on.
I do want to watch it again, but I'm afraid to. Like, it's just
give it a minute.
Yeah. I'm going to try and see it Thursday again before it leaves our theater here because I really want to see it again.
Yeah,
like, it was so
I
good.
would see it again. I mean, it was that good.
I'm just trying to think of like other little scenes I wanted to talk about before I forget.
I mean, there's one that like sort of broke my heart like instantly was when he like nearly chokes on the like sub and then she like... She's just like, you know, screaming at him like, you could have fucking died. Like, just like whacking him and shit. I'm like, yeah, that's the heartbreaking. Jesus.
Also,
I felt so bad.
I know, that was really sad. I love the scene where she like goes and sits next to him on the couch and she's just puts her head on his shoulder and then he's like, I want my chicken, and she's like, ugh. Like she doesn't want to go get it, but then she gets it and gives it to him, and there's still the intimacy. Like that part made me cry a little bit. And then she like sits back down and puts her head back on his shoulder.
So why do you think if she wants to help him so bad, why do you think she keeps kind of feeding his addiction and not just taking it away and, you know, saying like, you can't eat this stuff. It's like only making it worse, you know? Well,
in her mind, like, you know, she didn't know about all the money he had. So maybe she felt like, you know, this is all he can afford really, or something like that.
True.
Like, you know, fast food.
That's true.
Cheap and easy.
But I also felt like she was the only person in his life who really saw him for who he was. And it's like, even though you want to help people and there's just different kinds of love and different kinds of, I think, like interactions when you see somebody in pain and somebody hurting it. And she was like, I'm not going to deny him like this is who he is. This is like truly what he wants. I think she knew that he wasn't going to get better. He wasn't going to help himself, and he would have just been suffering without like that vice, you know, in a way.
Yeah, that's true. You know, she realized if this is the little time he had left, she wanted to at least give him the things that at least made him happy. I don't know. Or that he enjoyed. I don't know.
Yeah, and it's weird because it's like there's something in my mind when I think about it, and it's not like the thing that makes him happy or like the thing that he enjoys, but it's like the thing he needs. I don't know, in kind of a depressing way. And she like knew he needed it. I don't know.
It's a very packed movie, and there's just so many things that you can take away from
There's
it.
a lot of ways to think about it all.
That was quite the opening scene too. I didn't expect them. Remember, the opening scene. Jeez.
I don't know, like sometimes I hate when movies open up with like a sexual scene. I don't always like that.
Yeah.
And I think this was like, the more I thought about it, I kept thinking like that's a really weird way to introduce your character. But like then the more I thought about it, I was like, I think that tells so much about his character in just one scene, like of him doing that. You get so many things from him. You understand that he's lonely, he's unhealthy because he gets a heart attack from it, or almost does get a heart attack from it. He's gay, and like that you get so many different things about his character just based off that one shot of what he's doing.
And
so
it's
like
also,
I understood why they did it.
It's kind of a good thing as well, because like it would get the walk-ins out like early, like walkouts in early. Like, if people were like, yep, no, this isn't my kind of film, like they're just gonna leave right off the bat, because that's like the most like out there scene probably, right?
Yeah, I get what you're saying though, Quinn, like, and it also shows this vulnerable like human side to him. Like he's a person who wants to do and has urges just like everyone else. And it's like, I think that is interesting now that you say that, and I'm reflecting on it, because I think sometimes that horrible like gut reaction to seeing someone like that, like someone disgusting or whatever, is that they're not a human, and you don't want to think about them doing stuff like that or think about them in any intimate way. So it was kind of like a very interesting and loaded burst scene.
Right. It shows that they're people just like the rest of us. So, I mean, they do all sorts,
like
all the things that people do. Yeah.
I too have nearly had a heart attack while masturbating.
That also reminds me that I wanted to talk about...
Oh, that reminds me.
Yeah.
What did that remind you of?
No... just like I really loved his apartment, and I loved like his kitchen window, and I loved that you could hear like the steps and the voices, and all he could see were like people's shadows and stuff.
Yeah,
I don't know, it was almost like there was a surreal quality to it, like fantasy, but maybe that was on purpose because that was his world, like
exactly. Yeah, like that's I think even how Darren Aronofsky, because I've like listened to interviews and podcasts about him talking about the movie, and like like the apartment itself is like Charlie's, it's like his mind, his world. Like you're in his world now when he comes in. Like he described it as like it's his solar system and he's the sun, and all these characters are like gravitating around him just because the way he's always on the couch, and like it's all centered around him though. Yeah. So I just thought the whole set was really cool, and like everything they had. And like all the books, and like he was like super smart, and it was just, you understood a lot about him just based on where he was and like all the stuff they could do with such a little space. Also, the fact that he said he read the Bible a couple times, like that's a lot of reading too. Remember when he said that? Yeah. Oh my God. Well, like that's all he probably does. He sits around and he does his job and he reads and he eats. And,
right. Yeah. He just knew a lot about a lot of different things, and like if his partner who passed away was religious on some level, maybe that was sort of a lead into his interest in whatever.
That's true. God, yeah, I don't know. I'm trying to if there's anything. I guess the ending is the really big, powerful moment.
Yeah, it was.
Which, to get to your point, Julie, I think, that, to me, that's how instantly how I interpreted it, just like, not even just like him levitating off the ground, like, because the whole movie did have those like religious themes woven into it, and just like the thought of like, are you a good person? Like, have I done good things? And like what'll happen afterwards, like just little things sprinkled throughout the movie. And like I think him wanting to give a good life to his daughter and like have her turn out to be a good person is what in the end kind of pushed him to get up, and he realized like, okay, me subjecting her to all this stuff maybe made her realize things. It will turn her into a good person in the end. And like he did his job, like he did what he had to do, and then he dies, or at least it's alluded to that he dies, and he levitates off, and it's like heavenly. He's literally like an angel for a second being lifted up. into the, like, and so yeah, that's how I interpreted it for sure.
It's such an odd thing though, because like it sort of felt like a fool's mission with like him trying to, you know, make her life better, because she was just like, sometimes you're just like, is it worth it though?
Yeah.
Because
She was not having it.
yeah, she just really did not want to be a good person at all, and God knows what she
No.
would have spent money on. I don't know.
Right. You know, the essay was like about Moby Dick, which was really interesting. And obviously the movie was called The Whale, but I would love to like think more, discuss more like what his sort of obsession with that essay in particular was, like her essay that she wrote when she was younger. She was obviously like really intelligent, just like him. And he said it was like his favorite essay, but he kept talking about like wanting truth. And she, in the essay, she's basically like, I didn't understand this, like it was boring or whatever. But I don't know, it's just, it was really interesting.
That was interesting, and I did like all of the like Moby Dick and like kind of like sea, like, you know, oceanside like aesthetic the whole movie had. Like it tried to weave in those themes as much as possible, like with all the rain and the atmosphere and the Moby Dick thing, and
like you kind of felt like he was on a ship, you know?
Yeah, it did feel like that. And so I guess the whale has like a double meaning to the title, obviously.
I wonder if there's any like parallels to the play, like to the actual movie and Moby Dick, because I mean,
I haven't read Moby Dick or anything, so.
Well, I mean, it's like about a man who's searching for like
I know
a
the
whale,
gist,
right?
yeah.
So I just wonder if that has any importance.
It's the man searching for, because I haven't read it, and maybe I read it as a kid, I don't know. So
I read it as a kid, but it's been ages and ages.
But like, what would you say the point behind Moby Dick is? Because I'm sure there's a connection to the movie. There has to be.
Well, it's like the whale's like kind of a metaphor, I feel like, in that story, because he's like looking for something he can never obtain. Charlie, his character, is like, it seems like he's searching for something to complete him or to make him, I don't know, because he never feels like he's selfishly looking for something for his own gratification. He wants like peace, or he wants to like leave an impression before he's gone.
I guess you could like connect that to the fact that Charlie the whole time is searching for meaning to his life, basically, because, you know, when he breaks down and says like, I want to know that I've done one thing right with my life. So I think at first, you know, when he left his wife and his daughter for his, like, you know, partner, then that was like him finding meaning with his life. But then when he died, then it changed to him trying to reconnect with his daughter. Like that's his new meaning to his life. And then by the end, I think then he feels like he accomplished that, which is why it was like such a sort of weird angelic, you know, thing that happened. Like he succeeded. So I think it's just him constantly trying to find meaning within his like depressing life, putting others' needs before his own. And
He's got a lot of emotional baggage and a lot of physical baggage.
God, what does he say?
Yeah, I mean, sorry, go ahead.
Oh, no, I'm talking like way too much. You go.
I feel like I'm talking too much, but I mean, that's just because I loved this movie so much. Like, I could talk about it all day. Like, I'm going to rewatch it Thursday for sure. Yeah.
It'll be hard to rewatch it, but I really do want to.
Yeah. I do feel like I will get a lot more out of it just paying attention to those little moving parts, you know, the second time around.
Me too. It's going to be a different viewing for me the second time, because the way at our theater, the way that one of the managers, not Chandra, but the other one, like set the movie up on the screen, they didn't know that it was supposed to be in 4:3 aspect ratio, you know, with like the black on the sides.
Yeah.
So they stretched the movie out to just fit the whole screen.
Oh, God.
And like text at the bottom, you know, when it'd pop up and say like Thursday or whatever it was, it would just be cut off. And I was like, does that say Thursday? I don't know.
My God.
So I didn't even... Yeah, so like the picture was stretched out like way too much, but I didn't even notice it because I didn't know if it was supposed to be like that. So I'm excited to view it the way it was supposed to be viewed Thursday.
Was that shown to you like
get that
just privately?
No.
Oh,
that
God.
was... I watched it with a crowd, so yeah.
Oh, that's not good.
Yeah, but nobody else seemed to notice apparently either. But
So weird.
it is weird. Like, like, I don't know, I guess he didn't understand that, like, yeah, some movies do want to be shot in that aspect ratio. But anyway,
Imagine watching
like,
The
I
Lighthouse
told
like
him, I was
that.
like,
That would piss me off.
exactly.
That would suck.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
that's what I was telling him. I was like, yeah, artsier movies tend to do that. So, like, just don't mess with it. Like, what?
It just comes
but-
as it comes, and you just put it on.
Yeah.
Don't fuck with
Yeah.
it. Don't touch it.
Or like having like a
Mhm.
Christopher Nolan
Exactly.
movie where like it's changing from that to that, like just stretching
Right.
that out. That would be terrible.
That's true.
Oh my god.
That would be. Oh my god. I'm trying to. Anything else about the whale that you really wanted to talk about?
I'm emotional and I love it and I want to learn more about it and watch it more. It's a very special movie.
I knew it really is, and like for me, I don't know if it was me. I don't know if it's the diehard Darren Aronofsky fan in me, or like the brainwashed, like I'm gonna love the whale no matter what because we've been hyping it up so much for a year now.
Yeah.
But like I knew in my heart, like by the end, I was like, yeah, this is a 5-star. I have to give this 5 stars.
I'm
So-
really feeling that too, honestly. It's just,
Mhm.
it is too good.
I don't think that it's hype. I mean, I definitely will get super hyped up for something, and when it's a letdown, it fucking hurts. You're like, God damn it, I really wanted to love that. I mean, I do think, I don't know. I think it was a great movie, and if somebody didn't like it, they're wrong.
Yeah.
I did want
Yep,
to
period.
add, though, we were talking about the end, Liam and I were talking about the end, and I didn't feel like it was religious personally, because I just don't think I think about that, but I really liked that his feet left the ground, because he was like, I mean, it seems like really stupid, but he was so heavy and he was so weighed down that he like became weightless.
Yeah.
And I really liked that.
That's actually probably a better way to interpret it. And like, I mean, because like I don't view it just 100% as like, yeah, it's 100% religious interpretation. He's like going up to heaven. I just thought that was like kind of just like, oh yeah, that's a part of the meaning to that.
But yeah, I
but
think
no,
it
you're
could
totally
be
right. Like,
to whoever's looking,
Yeah, the good thing about it is
Yeah.
it can be interpreted in different ways.
Absolutely.
yeah.
For sure.
But you're totally right with the fact that like he could barely stand on his own, like let alone without the walker. So the fact that like his feet literally left the ground when that's probably never happened.
Right,
Like when was the last time he tried jumping? Like he probably both feet had probably never left the ground. He became weightless, and
It was,
like
like,
he
pure
felt like he
bliss.
found the meaning. Last thing about like the people that you said were maybe becoming like offended by this or like didn't like the representation of him. I feel like this represents those types of people way better than like most movies though, because I feel like in most movies obese people are often like jokes and they're just kind of like punchlines and like, oh, look at that fat person.
It was really
but
sympathetic.
It was never, yeah, it was very sympathetic. It made you like it showed them how human they were and like how they're just like everybody else. They just have a problem, and like it made you care about them. And
Well, it's not,
Yeah,
it's not
so-
just that, but like, I mean, I talked to you about this and I don't mean it to be a bummer or anything, but like it really captures like an eating disorder really well. Like I could speak from experience with that. It just like during the scenes where he was like binging food or whatever, I was like, I have looked like that before. Like I'm not heavy or whatever, but like I've looked like that before and it's like fucking disgusting and it's horrible and you feel that way. And I was just like, I feel like I'm just watching something I've been through right now and it's horrible, but it's true to life. Like it really gets it. So I don't know why
Exactly.
people would get offended, like, because it's so much more than just, this person's obese. It's like this person's obese, depressed, got an eating disorder, got so many other problems, and it's just a study of that,
Yeah. Well, and to that
Yeah.
point, it's like, coming from someone's perspective who could have a problem potentially, because you have kind of an emotional tie to that. I think it is oftentimes just an example of people like looking for a problem, because there's obviously like a deeper meaning here to the movie. They're not, I don't think Darren Aronofsky's like it's not an exploitive movie. It's not like you said, it's not like, haha, look at this guy. It's like, this is a real person. People have these problems. I mean, this sounds cheesy, but you know what I mean. It's just not
Totally.
like poking at anybody.
And like you never see movies with like a main character like this. I feel like you never see, when is a main character ever somebody portrayed like that, you never really see that. So it was just very interesting overall to see how he did it, and I thought it was handled perfectly.
And really the only time that you like see him like get sort of ridiculed or whatever is by his daughter. Like,
Right.
and it's, you know, that's by a person who says, like, you know, the R word and F word and shit like that. And, like, she just goes all out, really. So it's
Yeah.
like, you know, when the only amount of, like, you know, ridicule for a person like that is coming from a character like that, that makes sense. Like, it's not like the movie's telling you, hey, laugh at this guy with this person.
Well,
You know?
I mean, not only that, I do think that the film showed, you know, like, there was like a little mini story with like the pizza delivery guy and how he would check on
Right,
him.
we didn't even talk about that. Yeah.
Yeah, and
That
then,
was so
and then
odd.
when they finally saw him, they were like, ew, you know. But
That was
I
so
didn't-
heartbreaking. I
it was
felt so
heartbreaking,
bad.
but
Like,
Yeah.
I felt like it was realistic because that's, I think, where a person existing in the world like Charlie, it differs from most other people, is like, people are going to notice, they're going to have really strong reactions, it's not going to be pleasant, and
Yeah.
that's why he doesn't
Right.
want to go to the hospital or leave the house, which is also like why he dies, you know. It's because shame and guilt and
yeah. Like, yeah, we didn't even talk about the pizza guy and also his whole instructing class, how he never wanted to show the camera.
Yeah.
And, like, yeah, it is really sad because, like, he didn't want to be seen by anybody that he didn't already know, and, like, that he knew they would have those reactions. And just the fact that, like, the pizza guy, you know, he was trying to, like, almost be friends with Charlie because he's always delivering to him, and he was, like, introducing himself through the door, and, like, he would have totally been friends with him if he didn't, but then he saw him, and it was just, he looked just, like, horrified, and I'm like, God.
yeah.
I don't know. This is such a weird, random thing to say, but like when you finally see like the pizza guy, like the shot of him or whatever, I don't know why, but that shot creeped me the fuck out. Because like it's
was
just like
kinda
him
creepy.
like standing in the dark, like staring at him. I was like,
Yeah.
this is like haunting, and I don't know why. It's weird.
Well,
Yeah.
the whole pizza thing too really bothered me because as he keeps like coming and going, I think there's one point where he first reaches out and he's like, "Are you okay?" You know, there's this whole thing where some people just need you to ask if they're okay, you know, which I thought was really special, and I was like, wow, like this guy, like anybody can just care, but then it turned out that he just kind of he didn't really care at all.
Yeah, and the stuff with his class, I guess, that too. I was expecting like the reactions from them to be a lot worse, but like they didn't look too.
One of them took a
like
photo.
they kind of like looked. They did. I didn't even see
Yeah.
that. I was trying to look at all the different people on the screens and like what they were doing.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was a pretty big moment for him too, I guess.
Yeah.
It's just a heavy movie overall.
It is.
But it was a freaking masterpiece in my opinion. Darren
Yeah.
Aronofsky masterpiece. So
I thought it was great.
yeah, I
love
can't wait
Darren.
if we ever do an episode
Old
just
Darren.
about Darren Aronofsky, because then we'll see where this ranks. But yeah,
Yeah, I mean, it's certainly high up there, I think. But then again,
very
like
high for me.
Requiem and Mother, like, oh my god.
I know it's you can't top those. You just can't. But yeah.
That's that, I
Anyway,
guess.
that's The Whale.
Goodbye, the whale.
Goodbye, Whale. We're gonna miss you. What's the new Whale gonna be? I don't know.
Wolfman.
Wolfman?
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe. I don't know. We talked about a whale. Now is it time to talk about an ant?
Yep.
Yeah.
All right.
Let's talk ants.
Let's talk ants.
Yeah, but first I have to use the restroom, so just a second.
Okay.
Okay.
Have fun.
I feel like I have to keep a tradition going and say, I can't believe Quinn likes Peter Rabbit.
That was a meme on one episode. It was, well, maybe two, but, you know.
Yeah.
Do it for Sarah, I guess.
Yeah.
Have you seen it?
Yes.
I haven't still, so I'm just blindly judging him.
I will not gonna have as much thought-provoking things to say about this for me.
I'll
But
definitely
they're
have
completely
things to
different
say.
movies, so
Yeah.
yeah. No,
Um,
you're right. You're right.
Like, surface level, I think we should get, like, right off the bat, because, I mean, Quinn, you gave this a 5 out of 10, right?
Yeah.
Julia, you gave it...
I scored it pretty high.
What'd you give it?
I think I gave it like 4.5
Yeah.
out of 5.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah.
And
thought it was so fun.
I'm leaning more towards Quinn, maybe even lower.
Wow.
Oof, really?
Yeah.
I mean,
I thought you two were on the same page.
Nope.
Damn.
No,
Yeah, I
no.
thought I'd be the
I
odd
don't know.
man
It was
out.
just
Okay.
like, you know, I had my ice cream and I had my popcorn, and I was like, I have just been watching all of these Marvel movies.
Scorsese is eye rolling
This is
right
the
now.
first, you know, like, shut up! You're the one that forced me to watch all these.
I forced.
I know, I keep saying that. I wanted to do it, but you got me all excited, and then I went and saw the new one, and I was like,
I know.
here we are, and I loved it.
Doesn't mean
I
I
loved
have
all
to
the
enjoy it.
aliens.
Well, that's the thing. I can totally see, you said it was fun, and like, yeah, it is fun, but I don't know if it's my quote unquote Marvel fatigue still wearing off or what it is, but I don't know where
Too
to
much
start.
fun, I think.
Too much fun?
Well, I mean, too much silliness sometimes.
Yeah.
I don't even know where to start, really.
I know. Well, first of all, I just really liked the look of the quantum realm. I thought it was really cool, and it reminded me of a lot of other movies. It was like Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, kind of. And you know, have you guys seen that movie?
No.
Yeah.
Oh my god,
Mhm.
did you cry when the ant died? Because that
In the movie,
fucking killed me.
I haven't seen that movie since I was a little kid, but
Oh
I
my
know I've
God.
seen it. So little moments I'd have to rewatch.
Well, it was just like Little People, Big World. Like, it was just really fun for me. And it
Little
reminded me
People,
of
Big
Star
World.
Wars, you know? Like, yeah, it was just kind of like fantastical
Yeah.
and, you know, I don't know.
You just had fun?
No,
I
it's
just
funny
had a lot of fun
that
with it. And all the costumes and the aliens look like Star Wars aliens from, like, the original
It was-
trilogy.
right, and I saw your little like letterbox thing, and it made sense. Like it did give off Cantina vibes. It really did.
Mm-hmm.
It definitely
But
did, yeah.
in that moment, I guess. But yeah, just a bit much silliness. Like I love my fun, silly movies, but like the humor didn't really work a lot for me. And just like moments that we were supposed to like, oh, it's Bill Murray. Like I was just like,
the Bill
yeah,
Murray
yet
cameo
another.
is like, I love Bill
It's
Murray
just
as
like-
much as the next person, but like, I don't like it when an actor becomes like, he's like so Bill Murray now, and he just shows up, and I'm not gonna forget he's Bill Murray. I'm like, who is he playing
Right.
again? Because all I see is Bill Murray.
Right. And I feel like they knew that because like the way he was introduced, like the way they introduced character, that is like the punchline. Like he takes off the sunglasses, oh, it's Bill Murray.
Yeah.
Like we all know that, but they don't know it. And it's like
Yeah, I think
like
that's
we're getting
stupid.
so meta with like the cameos that it's like that doesn't make a good scene to me. That doesn't make a good whatever. So
Yeah.
Honestly, I think that Peyton Reed needs to stop directing these movies. Like, he's just so boring to me.
What else did he do?
I
Has
mean,
he done all
he's only
three
done like
Ant-Man
he's done the three Ant-Man movies and like other just generic comedy movies, basically.
I don't really like Ant-Man, like in general, so I was surprised that I liked this movie, but
Yeah.
I thought he was cute in this movie. His character was really cute.
I mean, I liked, he had a bit more to him, this movie at least, because he had, like, the whole family dynamic. Like, he has a daughter now that he's trying to teach the ways, and, like, he has this whole group with him. So, like, I don't know. For me, though, the first Ant-Man, for me, is the best, and it gradually kind of falls off. Like, Ant-Man and the Wasp second, and this is probably third. It just, to me, it does keep getting less and less
I still think the
interesting,
second
his
is
character.
worse for me. I
Oh.
think the second's worse. I like Quantumania a bit more, but I don't even know why.
Yeah. I think the reason the second is slightly better for me is because, and I know it's crazy to say, I mean, it's a Marvel movie, but like it did feel a bit more grounded. Like this third movie, I know it's supposed to be crazy, but man, it felt like just too much to really take in and like make me care about things when you're constantly introducing all this crazy stuff that they're not explaining, and like it felt like it was in Shark Boy and Lava Girl world. I don't know if I got that vibe.
I
Shark
would
Boy and
not
Lava
stop
Girl.
going on about Spy Kids. It was just like Spy Kids, Shark Boy, Lava Girl. That's all it
He
was.
like
Yes.
smacked me and he was like, "Spy Kids,"
Yeah, like
and I was like, "I have no idea because I haven't seen
And
it."
there's Oh, you haven't seen Spy Kids? Have you seen
never-
Shark Boy and Lava Girl?
No.
damn, dude, you're missing out.
Yeah,
Okay.
You're
maybe
missing
that's
out.
why I gave it 4.5 stars.
Well-
because I was like, "This is new to my eyeballs, and I've never seen it before."
It was very.
I'm gonna
Spy
show
Kids,
you.
yeah.
We need to pull up a side by side of MODOK.
I already
and,
did. I already
did.
did.
Okay, good, good.
Showed me.
What's his name, Mr. Electro or whatever
Yeah,
the fuck?
yeah.
Yeah.
But
Oh,
I mean,
gosh.
can we please talk about MODOK? because what the hell?
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie though, I'm really mixed on that part. Like, that's a lot of people's highlights, and I think it was yours too, Liam, right?
I'm mixed as well. Like, I liked it at first because it was just so dumb and, like, crazy, but, like,
Yeah.
the more I thought about it afterwards and the more I thought about, like, you know, MODOK's designs in the past, like, I just thought this one was just, like, okay, this is too much of, like, current MCU, like, goofy shit. Like, it was just, like, okay, we're gonna just put his face on there and stretch it and then laugh, basically.
Yeah.
But, like, MODOK's design as it is hilarious. Like, his original design. I don't know if you've seen him
Right.
in the, like, PS4 Avengers game or the comics or anything like that.
I've definitely known him originally from the comics. And
He looks
so
stupid as fuck. But, like, they went beyond this time.
I didn't know if they went beyond. I mean, they just... Because if you look at his comic design, he doesn't even... His face barely even looks human. Like, he looks so sinister that, like, it's, like, kind of crazy and creepy. But, like, yeah, they just took a regular guy's face and stretched it out. So that part was a little weird. But
It's
I kind of
the face.
appreciated...
The face I didn't like, but everything else I did like.
Yeah. So I did like how accurate the design of him was to the comics. I didn't know if they would, like, just do something different with him. But I didn't like how they just reused the same... Because I don't even know if they did this in the comics, but, like, where they took the same villain from Ant-Man 1 and just brought him back
Yeah,
as
I don't know
a
if they
different
did that
villain. That, to me, just seemed really weird. And I kind of get why they did it, like, you know, because there'd be that sort of, that already established tension between Ant-Man and MODOK, but, like, it just felt really weird. And, like, why not just have it be a new character like he's supposed to be? And I really... And, okay, everything else I have to say would be spoilers, so I'll wait. But I guess I was already kind of a spoiler, the fact that we talked about who he was, but...
I don't know. It was
Fuck.
weird too because they like tried to make you kind of like him, like he's not totally bad.
Yeah, that was kind of weird because I don't know if anybody's seen... Has either of you seen the MODOK show on Hulu? The animated MODOK show on Hulu?
No, I didn't know there was one.
Oh yeah, there is. Yeah, and it's hilarious. Like, it's a good show. I'm not even kidding. Like, because it's almost like adult humor, kind of. It feels like an Adult Swim show, but with MODOK, and it's
interesting.
voiced by, and it's voiced by Patton Oswalt.
Oh, I
You
love
know?
him.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh my
he
God.
had a perfect voice for MODOK.
That sounds like
He had
that
a
would work,
perfect
yeah.
voice. Yeah,
I just
and
have
I was
to
like,
say-
why didn't they just bring him in for that?
I saw your review for we messaged
Oh yeah.
briefly about
Yeah.
that, but I want to see that movie so bad.
The I Love My
I Love
Dad
My
movie.
Dad. Yeah, I've been waiting.
That movie was so good. That was I will confidently say that's the most underrated movie of last year. You guys have to see it.
But I was just looking up and, like, yeah, there's no indication of, like, in comics or anything like that of, like, Yellow Jacket turning into MODOK. So it's, like, a new thing for the MCU, I think. But it's just such a weird choice. Like, I don't know why. Like, why not just make it a different villain? And why is it in the quantum realm?
Yeah, that made zero sense to me too. Like,
Well,
I
apparently
don't know
he
what
was,
he's
like,
doing
created,
there.
like, by Kang, right? Like, that's what he said.
I guess I was a little confused too. I was
Yeah.
like, this guy lives here now. Like,
Yeah.
how did he get here?
Yeah.
But
It's just
whatever.
so strange. I did like the whole, you know, just sort of flashback scene with, like, you know, him flashing back to, like, Corey Stoll's character, like, Yellow Jacket before he became him, and then he just goes like, Darren?
I know
Like,
that was funny.
Like, that was funny.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
I think, like, because of the fact that, I mean, I was really excited to see, you know, the start of Kang, basically, because this is the start of Phase 5, start of Kang, his whole reign over the whole thing, and, like, it's such a disappointing start. Kang in this movie, I think, kind of sucks, honestly. There's going to be better versions of him, I'm sure, but, like, you know...
But maybe it is a good start because, you know, he is like so quietly ominous and evil and you don't really know exactly what his intentions are. And I don't know, I thought it was a little creepy how he had befriended like the mom and like he can pretend to be so compassionate, you know. But yeah, there was just not very, it was just kind of like fizzled a little.
Yeah. I mean, since we've already kind of been dropping like little spoilers throughout the movie, should we just get that spoiler warning out of the way? So
I
we
guess
don't... Okay, because, I mean, we already talked about how Darren Cross is the MODOK, and that's, like, spoiler right there, but whatever. All right.
Spoilers for Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania.
See, this is a lot to talk about. You thought the whale was a lot? Like, this is, like, what happened? Like, God, I'm about to think.
It is funny though, like I can't think of anything about Quantumania.
But you loved it so much.
I know, but that's why I'm like, did I? Because I'm like, oh, they had the cool outfits, and then she wrote on the thing, and it was so cool, and then
It's a theme park ride. No, I was just kidding.
And I was like, oh, there was a bunch of Ant-Men, and they like held him up, and I was like, oh, that's cool. Yeah.
Exactly.
What?
That's actually the way you're describing it is good because it is a series of like really cool visuals and cool scenes. But I at this point I would rather watch a little nice contained movie like The Whale rather than all these crazy like amazing things being shown to me, because at the end of the day what matters to me I guess more is the story. And just to me the only story here really was introducing Kang, which is really kind of undercooked, I thought, too.
He was
the way
kind
they
of
did
easy
that.
to like. I mean, I know they didn't defeat him, but that was kind of like disappointing in the end. I was like, okay, so he's just gonna get big and smash everything, and Kang's really mad. And what? Like,
I saw this like criticism
that's
where
too easy.
I saw this criticism where people are being like, oh, Kang, I can defeat like so many Avengers in different universes, but ants. Oh no!
Yeah.
Like,
Oh, I know exactly.
It's like what?
Like all
Come
these
on.
ants
Like
with
kryptonite
freaking
or
lasers
something?
attached to them.
Yeah,
Ants with freaking laser beams.
ants are a no-no.
Like, yeah, that's apparently too much for him. I don't understand.
Yeah, I was
but...
a little disappointed. I was like, he's the boss. He's like the final boss. This should be harder.
Mm-hmm.
I did love the final like scene. That's one of my favorites. Like Paul Rudd is just so cute. It just reminded me how cute he is. I was like, oh my god, he's just the cutest man. And
Oh, like
he's
the
like
final-
worried. He's like,
final
did
scene?
we? Like,
Yeah.
is it or is it not? You know, like.
Yeah, that was funny. That was a good one.
It's really funny.
I saw this sort of idea floating around that might be kind of interesting, but also might kind of fuck things up quite a lot. But like people are saying, like maybe Kang should just win and like wipe out so many of these characters and then
But they already
like
did
restart or something. No, but like really wipe it out. Like everyone just fucking dies and then like what happens
that would
from
be
there?
Quite a curveball.
It would be a massive curveball,
Yeah,
but I think it would be
that
kind
would
of
be.
weird and ballsy, and I kind of want to see it, but I doubt they would.
I want to see it.
Not after the.
I'd want to see it too. Yes, and that's another thing. I was expecting, well, I wasn't expecting, but me and Chandra made a bet on if she thought Ant-Man was going to die in this movie, and I was like, no, he's not going to die. Like, so we made a bet, and I won, clearly, because he didn't. And it's like, what are the stakes in these movies?
That's what I said, like
Like-
right after the movie ended. I was like, I wanted them to lose. I wanted things to go wrong more. Especially if
when
we're
you're
going to be like
introducing such a
introducing a
big-
character like this, yeah.
Yeah, it's not a very, like, intimidating introduction to him. Like, oh, he can get beaten by a bunch of ants. Okay.
I mean, I don't
Like,
consider
this is
it
our
like
big
the
bad.
I don't consider it the big introduction to his character. I consider that like the last episode of Loki, because that was actually intimidating, I think. Because I was just like,
Right.
wow, this guy has so much power. This is fucking nuts. All this information.
But I guess to your casual viewer that only watches the movies and maybe didn't even know about a Loki show, you know?
Yeah.
Like, this is their first time seeing Kang, to where they're like, you know, that's their introduction, I guess. So it's weird how they're going to handle it like that.
Did you stay for the end credits?
Yeah.
I saw the first one, and then I went to the bathroom.
Yeah. The second one was really interesting, I think, but you should
I
watch
didn't know
it.
there was gonna be. There's two now. Like I'm like, oh, there's one,
Yeah.
and then I gotta pee, and then he was like, there's
Yeah.
two, and like in phase 6 is there gonna be like 3?
Yeah,
When
probably.
can you leave the theater? You know what I mean?
They don't do
Give me
it
a
for some
break.
of them as well.
Yeah.
You don't.
Yeah.
There's just too much shit, man. It's too much shit with this movie.
I didn't like Cassie very much.
Oh, you didn't?
I thought she was really annoying.
I just thought she was kind of just one-dimensional, you know? Just the one-dimensional daughter character. She has a suit now. Okay.
She
Like,
seemed very overly
don't know.
woke.
overly woke?
Yeah.
Wait, what were the scenes with that?
Well, she just wanted to like
Oh,
solve
like the
every,
protest thing.
social cause that.
Yeah.
But it was almost kind of annoying because I felt like the way that they made her character woke was like the typical like white girl who needs to insert
Yeah.
herself in every problem
Yeah.
that is going on.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Like I was
Like,
just
just
tipped
'cause
off
it's not
from that
happening
first,
to you
like,
doesn't mean it's-
scene.
Right.
And then
it
I was
Yeah.
like, oh.
Yeah, and it was kind of embarrassing how she was like fangirling over this like indigenous alien the whole time. I was like, just let her be like a warrior and like fuck off and be a little ant. Like,
Right. Yeah. No, you're right. It is like the token white girl that's trying to stand for all the other groups. It's like, let them do their thing.
Yeah.
They're the ones being affected by this.
the problem is that
like-
you're always putting yourself in there.
Yeah, you're right. Now the more you talk about it, I totally see what were doing there. But
But at least she loved her dad. I mean, I was watching it and I was like, especially after watching The Whale, I was like, she really loves her parents, and that's kind of sweet.
that's true. Yeah. At least somebody loves their dad.
Yeah, at least somebody does.
But
I loved all the religious themes in Quantumania.
Yeah. Got pretty deep.
yeah, when Paul Rudd levitated at the end,
Yeah.
that was something.
When he takes that bite of dessert, I was like, is he...
Is he gonna become the whale?
Yeah, is this
Is
like
he-
communion? Is he like finding Jesus? What's going on here?
When he goes, like, turns
Yeah.
himself big, there was, like, a subtle nod to the whale. Peyton Reed was like, yeah, I like Aronofsky.
I need a big guy in this movie.
I
my
can be
big
bigger
guy.
than Brendan Fraser. Look at this.
The whale who?
Oh shit. But it was just hilarious how like in our theater we have two movies, and one we've got a nice little contained artsy drama, like really meaningful, and the next
Yeah.
we have a big fucking Marvel movie just throwing shit in your face. Like that's our two options right now.
Yeah, I saw it
Like
because
one or the other, one side of the
follow,
coin
like,
or the
the-
other. Like
I follow the theater page on Instagram and I saw them like advertise two of them next to each other. I'm like, that's
Yeah.
awesome. That's great.
you're two different types of movie viewers, I guess. I don't know. It's just weird though how like we could there's so much more to talk about with the whale when really there should be more to talk about with Ant-Man, because there's so much more that happened in Ant-Man but like wasn't meaningful enough.
What about the juice in Quantumania? The alien juice? That was cool.
The ooze, drink
The
the ooze.
Yeah.
It was cool, but I mean,
I'm just
Yeah.
bringing up
just a bunch
stuff.
of cool shit.
No, that's good. That's
Random stuff.
I
I
need
mean,
more
like,
things
you
to
know.
remember.
The juice,
Yeah.
the goo. Did you love it? Did you hate it?
I like the goo.
To me that was just another goofy thing that like whatever. Like I'm
Yeah.
trying to think.
I know, I'm trying to think of serious aspects to the movie.
There aren't many.
But it was just
You're right.
there aren't many. But like just a lot of weird, we got like a couple different references to like penises in this movie. Did anybody else get that?
Will you please remind us?
So you got one of them was when like they were counting how many holes Paul Rudd has,
Yeah,
you know, and then he's like, yeah, he's right, yeah, 7 holes. Or
that was
whatever.
pretty funny, honestly.
I think I missed that. I was like, eyeballs, ears, butthole.
Oh, I didn't
mouth.
count eyeballs
I
as
didn't
holes.
count like.
As holes.
Oh, you didn't.
No.
I didn't because
Ear,
I mean
nose,
they're not.
mouth.
You can't put your.
Penis hole, butthole.
Yeah.
But see,
Wait,
these
can't
are the
say penis
discussions
hole
that Marvel
on this
movies bring us
podcast?
now.
Just kidding.
No, you can.
Let's call this episode 7 Holes.
Oh,
penis
7
hole.
holes or the whale zone. I don't know. Both are
7
good.
holes in the whale zone. No.
So
How about,
random.
how
That's
about
bad.
highway to the whale zone?
Highway to the whale, like the danger zone.
Highway
Fuck.
to the whale zone.
That'd be perfect. If it was a Top Gun double feature, but no, it's oh my god,
Whatever.
it's not.
Missed
I don't
opportunity,
know.
but
We'll think about it. And then the other scene to where they were talking to Bill Murray, and they were like, "Are you human?" And he's like, "Only in the ways that matter." And I was like, "Is he talking about sex or the way he
yeah,
has
he was talking about
like Venus?" Like, yeah, I was like, these are some weird jokes Marvel's pulling out. Like, I mean, I go for it. I'm not like uncomfortable by it, but it's just not funny to me. Like,
Yeah,
I
it's
don't
a little
know.
too like on the nose.
I have to say, like,
little too
Michael
on the-
Douglas looked like he
yeah.
really didn't want to be there.
Yeah, he was just kind of
Well,
like,
did you-
I'm old, I'm tired.
Yeah.
I'm in another Ant-Man movie.
And I watched an interview, like, or a clip that popped up on Instagram.
Yeah, I saw
to where it's
that.
like, when they asked, like, would you come back for a 4th Ant-Man? And he's like, if I die, or if they let me die.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
So he just wants his character to get killed off, basically, which I thought they were going to do in this movie. Like, wouldn't you kill off the old guy, you know, because, like, his contract's probably coming to an end.
He's not
That
really
would push
doing
Paul
anything
Rudd
anymore.
to be more serious.
He's not really doing anything anymore. He did, like, the least
No,
in this
they're
movie.
just there.
I mean,
they're just,
he
yeah.
got the ants just by being who he is.
Just like,
But it's
hey,
like,
I'm
can't
Michael
Paul Rudd
Douglas,
do
and
that? He's Ant-Man, so,
welcome to
like...
Ant-Man.
I just don't understand the point behind Michelle Pfeiffer or Michael Douglas's character anymore. I just don't. or even the Wasp, like she didn't have a ton to do either.
Like,
what's going on? It's called Ant-Man and the Wasp, and it just felt like, you know, Ant-Man and
Cassie.
the Seven Holes or something. I don't know.
Ant-Man and the Seven Holes.
Like that'd be a better
Ant-Man and Cassie.
title. Ant-Man and Cassie. Yeah, that was what it was.
It was really kind of a simple plot too. It's like, oh, I made this beacon to the quantum realm. Oh no, now we're there.
Yeah, like, oh, we messed up. Now we're getting sucked into it. And it was just like kind of a No Way Home thing. Like, oh, this young character screws something up. Now what do we do? Like, I don't know.
But in No Way Home, it made more sense. Like,
To me, that's the weakest part of No Way
between
Home is just how
protesting
things
shit?
kicked off. Exactly.
She just like had time to
When
make
I'm not
this whole
protesting,
thing
then I'm...
Yeah,
to the quantum realm.
they expect you
Yeah.
know, we're supposed to believe that she's that smart. Like, yeah, I don't
Like,
buy
she's
it.
not smart enough to not get arrested, but she's
Yeah.
smart enough to... Like, when I'm not protesting, I'm studying quantum physics.
Yeah,
Like, what?
no, we
Like,
know you're
this is a weird
dumbass.
character.
Like, where did you get this?
Also,
Yeah.
something I brought up to Julia as well, they changed the actress as well. The one, like, the older Cassie that, like, Paul Rudd, like, comes up to in Endgame, like, when he finally comes back from the quantum realm. Different actress.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I totally didn't realize that. Wonder
So
why
I don't
they
know
did
what
that.
happened there, but...
It's weird. I mean, I didn't think this Cassie did, like, a bad job. It's just the character herself I just thought was written poorly.
That's
But yeah,
right.
I mean, I don't know. The MODOK thing is really what... Actually, when I was watching it the whole time, I was like, yeah, this is 3 stars. This is just another mid-Marvel movie. But then what they did to MODOK, I didn't like how they introduced... Because MODOK, in the grand scheme of the MCU, is actually a pretty big villain.
Yeah.
And they just, like, introduced this character and killed him off in the same movie. And I'm like, you just wasted so much potential that this is now a 2.5 for me. Because, like, you just ruined his character.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's
There's
the
so
inner
much they
nerd
could've
in me
done
getting,
with
like,
that.
mad, though.
I'm kind of worried that now it's like alternate dimensions and timelines. Like, is anybody ever really dead? Can they just bring people back anytime they want?
That's so true.
And how do they handle that? I think that's interesting.
I mean, they
That's
had,
so
like,
true,
different
and that's-
versions of, like, people in fucking, Multiverse of Madness? Like, they had Peggy back again, all that
Yeah.
shit. So, anything
even
could happen.
just like and even just like the mid-credit scene to this movie showing like that whole fucking coliseum full of Kangs. Like, I don't like the idea of like a character having all these different versions of himself, because then it just waters it down and makes him like less, it just makes it less impactful, like knowing there's like the one bad guy. Like, we only knew the one Thanos and he was like bad enough. And now we've got a million fucking Kangs. Like, you know, it's just...
Yeah, and even
know.
if there are a million, I think it's more like impactful to only see a few that really make a difference. Like, I really did love Loki because there were different versions of him, but they didn't overwhelm you, and they just kind of give you a taste of like what is out there. But giving you too much is just... Yeah.
Not a great start to Phase 5, in my opinion, but, you know.
I didn't even realize this is the first movie of Phase 5.
Yeah, next will be
Oh,
Guardians
it's
3, so
rough.
I'm hoping that's better.
Oh, I hope. It's gotta be better. Guardians has been consistent, at least.
Yeah.
That's the thing. This felt like this movie did kind of feel like Guardians of the Galaxy, like, on crack. Like, the fucking all the aliens and, like, just the crazy stuff they were trying to do and the quirky stuff. Like, it's like you're trying to be Guardians, but you're not.
Yeah.
You're just not.
Well, that's the way I felt about Love and Thunder as well.
Imagine if Taika Waititi directed this.
Oh.
Oh God. It would have been 10 times more annoying, though. Yeah, it's really interesting because I feel like we're literally at a turning point with both Marvel and DC, because like Marvel's quality has been like on the downcline. DC looks like it's going up. We're gonna see a day where we're talking shit about Marvel and like praising DC. It's gonna be crazy. It's gonna be weird. We're gonna be living in the quantum realm. It's fucking weird.
I don't want to, though. Because, I mean, I don't like this particular story, but, like, the overall grand scheme of Marvel I do like. I hope it gets better, that's all. You know, one
Me
thing as
too.
well is, like, we say, like, you know, DC is on the rise, I guess. Well, maybe. But, the next thing they're gonna bring out is, like, Shazam! Fury of the Gods, and, like... That looks rough. Like we saw the trailer, and like this was like my second time watching the trailer. The trailer is just the whole fucking movie.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Which does look, because I liked Shazam, the first one.
Yeah, it was good.
Yeah.
But this one, it's like they showed
second one
the
looks
entire
rough.
fucking thing.
They always do that though. They're like,
I have not
"Here's the
seen
bad
it this
guy,"
bad.
Blah, blah, blah.
I have not seen it this bad in a long time.
Yeah.
Me too. You're right. It really does show the whole thing. Apart from Shazam, because that's not really a part of like James Gunn's whole like revival plan. You know, like that was something already done. So
yeah.
like, I feel like so after Shazam, then I think we're gonna really have a turning point for DC.
True. Yeah.
That's what I think. But yeah,
Well, let's hope the Flash is good.
I hope. Yeah, I don't know. My brain was kind of fried after Quantumania, so I can't remember anything about it. But
I guess that's that then.
That's that.
that's Quantumania. Let's get into listener questions. I wonder what you're gonna do with that one.
Oh, you should see the new one.
First question from Movies That Don't Suck. He asked, should there be a fourth Ant-Man or just keep putting the character in other MCU films?
What do you think?
I could be done with Ant-Man on his own. Like, I think Paul Rudd is great. Put him in something, but I'm not super invested in his family.
Just think like all of the side characters are so boring.
Yeah.
Like-
He's kind of boring.
I would rather just
Yeah,
see
he
him in
really
other
only-
movies,
yeah.
but I mean, they're probably going to make a fourth Ant-Man at some point.
I like the idea of like a character just having a trilogy and then move on, to like other people. I don't need them all to have like 4 and 5 movies. That's why I didn't like how Thor was getting a 4th movie, and look how that turned out. So it's just
too
put him in
much.
other stuff.
I mean, Captain America had 3, and his were all good.
Yeah.
Right, exactly. And Iron Man had, Iron Man had 3.
Well,
I don't know if they were all
The
good.
only reason
I
they
like
made-
3. I like 3 a lot.
I know you do. I like 2. I love 2.
Yeah.
But
What are you saying?
Oh, I was just saying, like, the only reason they made a 4th Thor was so that they could have, like, that Jane thing happen. That's what I think, anyway.
no, that pretty much was, yeah. Yeah, just put him in other movies. He's kind of boring, you're right.
Yeah,
Ant-Man is.
I'm kind of over it.
I'll get the other Ant-Man question out of the way. From Anton_Kino Love.
Anton? Haha.
Oh,
Oh, wow.
boy.
Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania, the best start to Phase 5 in the MCU? Oh, that's a joke. That's a joke question.
Yeah,
of course, he says that the best...
Yeah.
What does he mean?
I don't know.
Is he making a statement, or is he, like, saying, what do you think?
I don't know what this question
I
even
guess
is.
he's saying, what do you think? And no, I wouldn't agree. It could have been a lot better.
It could have been better.
Yeah, for sure. From All Right So Reviews, he asked, should Darren Aronofsky do more stage play style films?
Why not?
Yeah, I think he could.
Yeah,
Pretty good at it.
it turned
But
out good.
I sort of like the chaos of not knowing what he's going to do next as well.
You could throw a stage
Yeah.
play in every once in a while.
Yeah.
He can do pretty much anything as far as I'm concerned, so
Why the hell not?
just not Cats. Don't let him do Cats. Oh, that's a musical. Same thing, kind of, right? Play musical. I don't know.
Yeah, Cats is a musical.
He could do it better than
He
fucking
could
whatever that
do it
guy's
way
name is.
better.
Just saying though, like the plot of Cats is so fucked up.
Yeah, it is.
It's insane. They're like fighting to go to cat heaven.
Yep, they're fighting to die.
See, it has those religious themes he needs. So this is
Oh yeah.
this is his next calling.
What do they call cat heaven in Cats? It's like the angelical ball.
Oh,
Angelical
yeah.
It's something really fucking weird. Anyway, let's not talk about that.
Yeah, and then we got not a question but a comment from Sirtone_reviews. He asked he didn't ask. He said The Whale was one of my biggest disappointments of 2022.
This is
No.
listener questions, not listener statements.
I feel like sometimes I say like put your questions, comments, or whatever down.
Oh, yeah,
so
yeah.
maybe that's my fault.
Well, we're sorry you
I
didn't
don't
like
know,
it, but
man.
you're wrong, buddy.
Yeah, you gotta rewatch it.
We all loved it, so sorry you didn't like it. That sucks.
That's too bad.
Bummer.
Okay, last question from Film Forager. She
Oh.
asked, and this is for Julia only, I guess.
For me
for
only.
for Julia, what was your favorite moment from our big hangout in Vern?
I don't know. It's hard to say. There were a lot of really good moments. Obviously, like meeting Liam was really incredible. I did love when Chandra and I had our little like night where I got really drunk and I barfed in the toilet, and then we did karaoke till 4 a.m. and that was a good night too.
Was that on your own?
Nice.
Yeah.
Oh, when was that? What were we doing?
That was like,
I don't know.
It was before. It was the night before we went to see The Burbs, and Chandra wanted to just. She was like, "Let's just have a ladies' night," and I was like, "Yeah."
Oh, so that would have been like one of the first nights, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was that the one where you and me went to drown, or was that the one after?
No, that was when only you were here so far. But I don't know what we were doing that night because that was before even Kath got there. So yeah, we just watched something, I guess. It's all a big, wonderful blur. I can't remember what day was what, but it was fun.
It was a lot of fun.
It was a lot of fun.
I want to come back.
We will have to all make that happen again one day, wherever it may be.
Yes.
Meet up. Anyway, that was the last question. So
thanks for the questions.
all right.
Thank
you all for the
people.
questions.
And the statement.
Yeah.
And the statement.
Yeah, so we're going to shout out to our lovely, awesome patrons. We got Kath.reviews. Kath, thank you.
Thanks, Kath. You're the best.
Thanks, Kath.
Who do we got next, Liam?
I don't know. Why don't you tell us, Julia?
I don't know. Maybe me. Could be me. I don't know. Might be.
We have a patron on the show. Yeah. She didn't pay to be on there, by the way.
Yeah, it's not a paid appearance.
Yeah.
I didn't buy my spot on. Today.
But thank you for the Patreon money.
Yeah, well, you both
thank you.
I'll give you a nice handshake.
There you go. And then, okay, let me think. Film Ardor.
No!
Right?
You're fucking with me this time.
No, yeah, I'm fucking with you.
Oh my god, thank god. Jesus.
Ardor Film. Ardor Film, because I always get it mixed up.
Thank you, Amy.
Thank you, Amy.
And Sarah's Popcorn Chat. Thank you very much for the donations. We appreciate it.
And thank you to Liam's mom, Luna___Pearl.
Thanks, Mom.
Thanks for helping out.
Mm-hmm. Good shit. Appreciate it.
That is good shit. It helps us out, helps us do the artwork stuff and all that.
I love the new one so much. It's so good.
It's funny. Yeah, it's good.
I think it's
really
like my
good.
favorite one so far. It's really good.
It is good.
I set it as my desktop wallpaper.
My
on my
wallpaper
computer
is the Eyes Deep in Kino one on my laptop.
Oh, that is. I've been trying to find the old email to that and I can't find it, so I want to find it so I can put that as the. Okay, yeah, please do. So then I'll put that as my desktop wallpaper.
Could we do like a mini shout out to Manu because she's been doing really well, I think.
Oh yeah.
Like we've just loved having her as a partner on this, and she's doing so well. Like, I hope everyone's enjoying the artwork. Yeah, she works really hard on it. And she's doing great.
I as someone who keeps seeing it come out too, like, I think that it does keep getting better. It's like getting more creative, and then I don't know, like, especially with the new one, I just feel like she's just always getting better, and it's fun to see. Yeah,
and it's like I throw these ideas at her, and with this one, I felt like I gave her like a little less than I usually would, but she still came out with that, and I was like, damn.
And it's funny because it seemed like she had fun with it. Like, you can tell. Yeah.
She has a lot of fun doing it.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Yeah, it is really awesome artwork.
It's a glorious partnership.
It is.
Match
made in heaven. So thanks, Manu.
Yes, thank you, Manu. Thank you. I think where you can find us. So we'll start with our guest. Where can they find you, Julia, on social media and all that?
You can find me in hell. Just kidding. You just find me on Instagram, moving___pictures.
What's your letterbox?
Letterbox?
Oh yeah. My letterbox is reelin_ the letter N _
Reelin' and dealin'. Awesome. Go check her out.
Thanks for being on the show.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you for being on the show. Thank you.
Really
I'm glad that you guys got to meet up and you're hanging out. You can find me on social media at Views by Quinn on Instagram, Letterboxd, all the other little social medias. Just check out the link tree in the description of the episode. Please do that.
And you can find me at Movies Music Me on all that shit. Different variants of it, but it's all in the link tree. My YouTube, Instagram, Letterboxd, music board, serialized, all the shit. Also, please don't forget to rate the podcast on Spotify and Apple Podcasts.
If you don't rate the podcast, this is not even my podcast, and I will dress like a spy and sneak into your house. And you know what I'll do.
Oh boy.
Oh,
You're gonna be assassinated.
threatening people now.
Yeah. I'm gonna snuff you out.
So you better do it.
Yes. Well, yeah, that's about it. So I gotta do my thing, I guess.
Do it.
All right, bye everybody, and peace out, bitches. Get in the whale zone. There you go.
Good shit.